Hello, 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 hello. Wherever you are on this mighty planet called Earth, I hope you are having a scintillating day, evening, or night, wherever you are located. Today, I got around to watching the Black Widow Marvel MCU movie. In my mind, to me, I think it's one of the best so-called superhero films that I have seen. Dear listener, you may be asking me why you think it is the best. While the Black Widow is a basic regular human, no special enhancements, no super soldier serum, no guard DNA, no not powered by gamma radiation, or some radioactive spider. No, she's just a regular, plain human. But you may say, so what? Batman is a regular, plain human, but there's a difference between Black Widow and Batman. While both are exceptional fighters, top of the line fighters in that respective universe, the difference between the Black Widow and Batman is the Black Widow is not full of a bunch of gadgets. Batman is full of a bunch of gadgets that help him get out of a scene. From his smoke bombs to his batarang to his mini EMP pulses to his siren screams and on and on and on. Batman usually uses gadgets to get out of a tough struggle. Now, he could still get out of struggles or situations if he didn't need to. But all the gadgets, he just have them just as a secondary tool. But the Black Widow movie, from what I saw, she ain't had no special yin yangs attached to her. She ain't had no utility belt. No such thing. All she had was her wits, her cunning, and skills. I hope like this one more difference between her and Batman. The Black Widow technically may be a greater fighter than Batman. You may ask why she's a greater fighter than Batman. Here's the difference right here. Fighting is almost like a part of her psyche. Black Widow was trained to be an expert assassin, an expert deliverer since she was a child. Batman, on the other hand, became an established fighter. We could really say after his parents died. He was still a child, but most of his fighting probably took place when he was a late teenager. When he was a child, under the age of 10, he had no training. Now, from what I know, it never revealed what age that he lost his parents, because I'm not much of a Batman comic reader anymore. I never got that far into him to say did he lose his parents at the age of 8, 7. I know he was over 5 because he was still able to comprehend what was going on. So he probably was probably like 10 or 11 or 12. He probably was that age. At that age, Black Widow was already undergoing her intense training. So, theoretically, fighting is part of her DNA. It's not part of Batman's DNA. He may have to think or respond to what to do, what move. To her, she may be operating by pure reflexes. So she may be a greater fighter than Batman. But that remains to be seen because they're in two different comic universes. One is Marvel, one is DC. Okay, so I gave you my little synopsis about her. Now I'm gonna get more into why I like the movie. Like I said, no, well, it was only one scene where I saw, well, maybe two or three, One scene that I remember with the superpowers when somebody flipped over a truck. That was only a couple seconds. Then after he flipped that truck over, no more display of strength. Then the other person who displayed some type of enchant ability was that Red Guardian. Now I don't know if he was superhuman or just a human who got enchants more, because we know with the super soldier serum, Captain America is basically a superhuman now. He can grab and pull helicopters, as you saw in those movies. He can run faster than a car, or he can run faster than 60 miles an hour, as we saw in the movie. And we did see, I think, in one of them Captain America's movies, when he was running with Bucky, he ran around the national capital 4 or 5 times when Bucky, where the Falcon only ran around that basically once, and he was huffing and puffing. Captain America wasn't huffing and puffing. So I don't know if the Red Guardian's to that level, because it did say he was the first Soviet super soldier. But I don't know if his super soldier serum was to the level of a Captain America, because he didn't seem like it. And plus, when he was fighting Taskmaster, he did not seem like he was no expert or accomplished fighter like Cap. So Cap is greater than that daggone Red Guardian, because Cap would not have easily been taken and pistol whipped by the Taskmaster. The Taskmaster would have given him a way to go, but Cap would not have routinely been smacked upside the head like the Red Guardian is. Now back to why I like that movie. When I was watching the Black Widow movie, and for some reason I like watching movies with a female protagonist with fighting skills. I always enjoy seeing a woman who can kick your butt in a heartbeat. I enjoy those movies more immensely. Anyway, when I was watching the Black Widow movies, it was essentially like watching the Equalizer films and a Born Identity, which involves men. That was the feel I took away from watching Black Widow. It was on the level of watching an action-packed movie like with Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, Bruce Willis. It didn't feel like no superhero movie. It didn't feel like none of that. It was like it was basically like a James Bond movie. Yeah, the Black Widow picture was basically like watching a James Bond movie. It was. It really was. You had the super antagonist who was the head of an organization. When you watch a James Bond movie, there's always some antagonist who's in charge of organizations. The antagonist controls the shots. The antagonist has people under his control, just like in that movie. Her movie was just like a James Bond movie. And like a James Bond movie, she was running on the roof a lot. Whenever you see a James Bond picture, especially in this modern age, they love to show 007 jumping, running, skipping, and hopping on rooftops, falling off objects from the roof, just like in this movie. So, and the thing I love most about the movie is not a lot of people died. None of the main people died. Even in 007, even with those movies that what's the actor called? Tom Cruise movie, Mission Impossible. The secondary characters usually always have to die. Not so with this movie, because the secondary character, I hate to give any spoilers, had a basic background like Natasha. And I haven't even given him any spoilers. I haven't even talked about the movie plots and this and that. I just gave you a synopsis of the movie. It's more like Born Identity The Equalizer, Mission Impossible, and what was that? I said James Bond 007 movies. So that's my little take on why I found this movie so appealing. It had that typical spy-based background where the person in charge is manipulating everybody, but here's the difference. They made it like a comic book movie. You know, in these present incarnation of comic movies, the villain never gets away. I'm not going to tell you what happened to the villain, but you know the typical villain, if it's not Loki that is, the typical villain in these superhero movies does not escape the wrath of God at the end of the movie. I'm not going to tell you what happened because you need to go see it yourself. So thank you for stopping by. That's my little take on what I found appealing about the Black Widow movies. It reminds me of so many other movies that we love. James Bond, Mission Impossible, Equalizer, Born Identity, on and on and on. That's what I love about it. So if you get the chance, go see the Black Widow movie because it is an action-packed movie. You don't have a lot of downtime in it where you get to yawn a lot. The movie did not have me in the yawning. Take care. Until the next time, listener, peace.